Hello everyone, it's Jordan here, back again with this week's episode and all the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the 4th week of April the 25th until the 29th, Monday to Friday, the final week of the month. We've got retail, low print, and an absolutely incredible week for imports, plus a big update on Pocky and Rocky. Now, there's no community spotlight this week because I am up to my eyeballs in projects at this minute. Even right now, I'm in the middle of doing 2 videos. So yeah, no community spotlight this week, and you'll see why this coming week. There's a lot of videos coming, okay? Let's get on with this week's video, no more waffling. Zombie Army 4 Dead War is releasing physically early this week. This is a third-person shooter from the developers of the Sniper Elite series. Obviously, a couple of years late to the Switch, so it's hardly the big news it could have been, but so far Rebellion have done a fantastic job with their Switch ports. They always put the time and effort into them. This continues from the Zombie Army trilogy with mowing down more Nazi zombies. What is it with Nazi zombies? Can we just combine Nazis with something else for a change? I don't know. Nazi mechs, Nazi monkeys, Nazi ninjas, Nazi schoolgirls, just anything, something different than zombies, please. And I've said Nazi a few many times right now, so YouTube's gonna start to panic. Cricket 2022 is releasing in Europe this week after a long delay. Yes, this is a game about the Ashes test well after the Ashes finished. The Switch version took more development time and then delayed it even further. I can't remember the exact details, but I think someone in the cricketing world got cancelled and then they had to be erased from history. Nothing sinister about that at all. Yeah, somebody on the cover sleeve did something a little bit naughty and they had to go. But yeah, it's cricket on the Switch. I think it's supposed to be decent, but you know, cricket fans don't have much to cling onto these days in the gaming sphere, so it'll have to do. Bring back Brian Lara. Metal Tales Overkill is maybe releasing in Europe this week. I say maybe because it's from Tesura Games, who are, shall we say, rather blasé about release dates on various websites. They don't really care. It's difficult to tell, especially with one that seems to have just popped up out of nowhere. This is a top-down twin-stick shooter, which I think we can all agree is looking on the budgeted side. I suppose the gameplay could be okay, but the trailer is doing nothing for me personally, and there's no reviews to go on this one, so who knows? Ganryu 2 is releasing in Europe this week. Not heard anything about North America. Not that you should be too upset, since despite a lot of promise in the gameplay department, it supposedly runs like a turd down a rubber pipe. That means not good. At least that's what Nintendo Live said, and I saw a Switch Up's review. They showed it off very clearly. This is a sequel to a Visco arcade classic. It recently happened with Androdunos 2, but no wonder they didn't publicize this one anywhere near as much. Definitely needs a little bit of work. Nintendo Switch Sports, yes, the sequel to Wii Sports we've all been waiting for, and that's if we forget Wii U Sports, which we all should forget that one. Here we have 6 sports: football, volleyball, bowling, tennis, badminton, which, let's face it, is tennis for people who can't play tennis, and a game called Chambara, which is the ancient sport of beating the shit out of each other with sticks. It's in our DNA. But there's a bit of a disaster because they obviously wanted this out sharpish, so they didn't finish off the golf game yet, so that is being added for free later on. Shame it's not on the cartridge. It is going to be hard to replicate the smash success of Wii Sports. The Wii U version was actually, it was pretty good to be fair. They just properly messed up that release. They pretty much stopped caring by that point. The Switch's motion controls should be okay, but let's face it, they're not Wiimotes, they're not at all. Either way, this should sell about a bajillion copies regardless. And our executive producers Santa Tartaruga, Jonathan Rumer, and Viz have chosen this as their pick of the week. The Low Prince. First Press Games have put open pre-orders for their latest game. They announce one every 6 months or so. This time it's Sydney Hunter and the Curse of the Mayan. This is a retro-style adventure platformer inspired by the likes of Indiana Jones. I actually have this digitally, and the hour or so that I played of it, I thought it was pretty decent, fairly old school. First Press have 3 editions available to pre-order, 2 standard editions, one of which is a Japanese-style cover version, as well as a collector's edition. First Press Games put out some decent stuff. I have a couple of their games. The only issue is that they take a very long time to send things out. Maybe the slowest of all the actual legit low print companies. So just keep that in mind. These guys make Strictly Limited look like Usain Bolt. And our executive producer Boombox has chosen this as his pick of the week. Zero Tolerance Collection is up for pre-order at Strictly Limited Games. This is a collection, who'd have thought it? It has 3 games, kinda. Zero Tolerance, which was a Mega Drive first-person shooter, believe it or not. I'm not an expert in the series, but what I think is going on is that the sequel, Zero Tolerance Underground, was made but never released until now. I mean, ROMs were available online, but this is the first official release. And to top it off is Beyond Zero Tolerance. I'm not sure how we can go beyond zero, maybe like a -0? Tolerance -1? I don't know. This is more like a prototype, it's not actually a complete game. And fair play to Strictly Limited doing some interesting releases like this once in a while. There is a standard edition and a collector's edition available to pre-order now. 8 Doors, Arum's Afterlife adventure, is Red Out Games' latest Switch release. This is a rather striking Metroidvania style game. It looks very cool indeed. You have to fight your way through Purgatory, and its mythology is supposed to be based off Korean idea of the afterlife. 8 areas within, monsters to battle, and a great use of black, white, and red. Reminds me of another game that they did, My Memories of Us. You can pre-order this one now at Red Out Games and get 10% off with SwitchWatch, but that's only after the Easter sale ends. I'm not sure when that's finishing, but yeah, you can't use the code right now, but you will be able to do soon. And this will also be available in North America if you check out Video Games Plus. Crisis Wing is going up for pre-order this week at VGNY Soft. This is a commendable shmup, very solid, gimmick-free, back to its roots goodness, something you'd find on the Mega Drive perhaps. If you enjoy Tower Plan, then you'll probably enjoy this one too. 7 vertical scrolling levels for you to blast down waves of enemies either in single or co-op player modes. It looks good, solid title. This is at VGNY Soft. There is a normal edition as well as an elite edition which has a shiny cover unlike the standard version. I need me some shiny. BugSnacks is up for pre-order at FanGamer. I actually don't know if this is getting a retail release or if it's exclusive to their website. I couldn't find any information on that, but I would be surprised if it stays an exclusive. Either way, this version is coming with some extra goodies. It was originally a PlayStation console exclusive, but now it's free from the shackles and it's coming everywhere, including the Switch. Now, because I'm not blasphemous, I didn't really pay attention to the previous releases, but just going by the name alone, to me it just sounded like a sequel to Viva Pinata, which the world definitely needs. But looking at the trailer, it looks a bit like that, but with more Pokemon Snap aspects to it, which is a winner. This looks great, and I do hope it gets a wider release. Contra Anniversary Collection is yet another mammoth release from Limited Run Games. Yeah, they announced this almost a year ago, I think, during their E3 conference thingamabob. Yeah, the Contra collection that people were dying for is coming to fruition. I have this digitally already, and while I appreciate the games themselves, I realized I'm not actually a massive Contra guy. When your favorite game in this collection is the Game Boy game, you know you can't really, talk about these games. But the Game Boy game, it is really good. I don't care what anybody says. I like it. More than the others. I'm weird. Let me ask you a question once again. How do you know Limited Run think they have a huge game in their hands? They have a $175 version of it, of course. If you've worked with Limited Run in the past, and they didn't give your game a $175 version, they don't care about your game. They don't think it's got the milk. This, as far as I can see, is also the only way to get the Steam box. So once again, Steam box collectors, rest in peace. There's also a couple of other different collector's editions, some smaller ones, but yeah, not particularly interesting. No matter what happens, this is going to be a huge game for them. And our executive producer Grant has chosen this as his pick of the week. Before we get into the imports, I need to do a mini update of my Pocky and Rocky Reshrined review, which I'm sure some of you watched. I said I wasn't really sure about the Western version. It's not coming out until June or so in the West, and there was a lot of worry that the Western version would be censored due to the trailer covering up a bit of cleavage. And if the screenshots on Amazon are anything to go by, it looks like the game is also censored. Which is unfortunate considering that character is also the best thing in the game. I mean, the game is great, it is great, but I mean, realistically, it is not a massive deal. It's just so dumb, like pathetically prude. I mean, who's the producer of this game? Like, is my nan? Does my grandma work for In Games? I wouldn't be surprised at this point. And I know people have said it was to get a lower age rating, but let's face it, ain't no 7-year-old buying this game, and if they did, they would be disappointed and return it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a really great game, but it ain't for young kids this day and age. And also, a couple of people accused me of calling it out on Twitter just so I could shill for affiliate earnings of the Japanese version. Which, come on, that is absolutely, categorically true. Of course. I mean, if I can earn like $20 from In Games being knobs about this, I'm gonna do it. I tell you what, my daughter's gonna get some fine ice cream out of this. No cheapo milk pops this week, baby. Daddy providing. So yeah, if you want the cleavage shunned away, then wait for the Western release. If you want it fully loaded, you may want to pick up the Japanese version with the links below and donate to my daughter's ice cream fund. Alright, the imports. Remember, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment if you use those links. And it also helps support this series ever so much. You guys are wonderful, and I always thank you from the bottom of my heart. Plus, in return, you can also get a very nice 5% off if you click our links from any item on PlayAsia if you use our coupon code JORDAN. Yes, that's Nadroj backwards, Jordan, for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. And it's an absolutely insane week for imports. We've got to start with the biggest import of the year so far, unless you really like big booby pirates. Chrono Cross is getting its Asian English release this week. All hail the Cartry gods. They have shined upon us. Now, this is an all-time classic JRPG. Many say it's their favorite of all time. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I was a little bit disappointed by some aspects that stopped me putting it in like my top 10, like the ultimate JRPG, but it is just a fantastic game, and it's great that it's getting a re-release that it deserves. Like, Chrono Trigger rightly gets a lot of plaudits, while this gets ignored a lot. Well, before Trigger comes to the Switch, which let's face it, it will do, let's all pay respect to this one. It has its flaws, but it's still a damn fine time. I know a lot of YouTubers who enjoy pouncing on any negativity to get views really ripped into this port, but if you saw my review, I mean, it's not perfect, but come on, it's fine. It's fine, really. The biggest import of the year, don't miss out. I think we're going to see a lot of this one in the community spotlight in the coming weeks, I'm sure. And our executive producers, Raven Knight, Jcross7776, Dane Wilkinson, Vey, Issa, Cartoon Soren, and Thorn Metal Luna have chosen this as their pick of the week. Food Girls 2 Civil War is one that I'm rather excited about, even if no one else is. I really rather enjoyed Food Girls 1. It's a light-hearted VN with business management gameplay. It's really charming, full of life, not deadly serious. I reviewed it back when it released, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. Unfortunately, I don't have the time right now to play it, but don't you worry, our man Mayan has played it, and there's a review for you to watch right now on VN Paradise. Go watch it after this video's finished, okay? Now, without fully spoiling it, he did say that there's an addictiveness about it. It's very welcoming for newcomers, but it does lack a lot of depth, which for someone as shallow as me, not really a problem. But if you want more refined examples of the genre and more professional VNs, then you may want to look elsewhere. So it can be a little bit disappointing. It does have its issues, unfortunately. And our executive producers, Parsnip Coffee, God of Resin, and Alexander Cato, chosen this as their pick of the week. So it's not just me. And just a heads up, the first game was out of stock for quite a while and was becoming really expensive on eBay, but PlayAsia recently got a reprint for a very reasonable price. So if you don't want to miss out on the first game again, then there's links below for the reprint that you can grab. Don't miss out this time, okay? Grab them both together, why not? Light-hearted VNs that maybe not everyone will enjoy, but I will because I'm a simpleton. TASOMACHI behind the Twilight is releasing in Japan this week, exclusive over there. I did ask the publisher and they said no plans for a Western physical for the time being. This Japanese release does have English, and you'll have to be there on Thursday to see my review of this game. I'm not going to say too much, but if you like a collectathon platforming game with a decidedly chill atmosphere, you'll probably enjoy this one. Sit back, find all the magic lanterns, move on. If you want something a bit more expansive, more action orientated, more adrenaline filled, you'll probably want to look elsewhere. But like I said, I will give you my full thoughts on Thursday. The cover art is amazing. That is absolutely gorgeous. That's how you do it. And our executive producer Brent McLean has chosen this as his pick of the week. Oshi Ranbu, Waifus over Husbandos is a game I've previously called something else. This is the localized name apparently. It's a double pack of Yuri VNs with the main game and its sequel Love or Die. Here we have a lesbian setting her sights on a husbando obsessed lady and many hijinks must ensue. It's a rom-com, good production value. It's not a mammoth read either, you'll be done with everything in about 8 hours or so. So it's doable in just 2, 3 or maybe 4 sessions rather than like a month like some classics out there can be. It's going to be a great one for visual novel fans. And our executive producer Alyssa has chosen this as her pick of the week. Hishou Same 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 is M2's latest retro collection. They did the Eleste collection, they did the Tiger Heli collection. Now it's the Flying Shark collection as it translates. Old school Toa plan. You have Flying Shark, Fire Shark, and Asteroid Shark. That last one may not be true. Here you have the arcade versions of those games with other variations like international releases as well as NES or Mega Drive versions that are included in the physical release. The digital release actually has many of them as DLC instead. So yeah, physical all the way. There's also a game that's not actually related to these two Shark games called Wardener, which is more like an arcade platformer. They usually throw in something random like they did in the Tiger Heli collection. There is no English in this package, but it's a bunch of arcade shmups, so it's not really necessary. If you're a shmup fan and you're a shmup fiend and you're a physical collector of shmuppy shmupness, then this is going to be a collection for you. There's also a couple of other games releasing in Japan. Betia Pera Pera English Adventure, which does look rather fascinating. It's like a learning English kind of way, but I mean, there is no English except the bits that you're learning. I don't know, I'm just confused about this one. I would be interested in seeing what it's all about though. Plus, there is a visual novel without English. Now, there's no community spotlight this week because, as I said, I'm just super busy with a lot of projects going on. Don't send me any more pictures because I do have enough for next week already. If you send another one, it's less likely to actually be shown. But before I do go, I do want to show off something from Red Arc Games once more. They sent me another copy of Vectronom, but this time, the Collector's Edition. Yes, this was delayed for quite a long time, I think for a couple of years due to some manufacturing issues, but now here it is in all its glory. In this package you get the game, of course, I've talked about it before, it's like injecting a bag of Skittles into your eyeballs. It's a pretty cool action puzzle game, rather fun, but this Collector's Edition obviously has something big about it. Yes, a double vinyl soundtrack, which is great because the music is great. Sadly, I don't have a record player on hand to try it out. Yeah, that's a shame, but whatever. It does look very lovely indeed, and something vinyl game collectors will want to look into. Very colorful, impactful. Plus, it was packaged very well when it arrived. Solid. As some smaller bonuses, you also get 3 pin badges and a poster too. Now, only 600 copies of this were made, and they still have some left. And remember, if you want it, you can get 10% off with SWatch10 at redartgames.com, but only after their Easter sale has finished. This is not discounted in that sale, so you'll want to have a little bit of patience if you want to buy this. Yeah, thanks to Red Arc Games for sending me this one. It is really very lovely. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Elissa, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parslip Coffee, Issa, Vey, Mental Traveler, Grantsert, Viz, and our brand new executive, Jennifer H. Jennifer, please contact me in our Discord or over on Twitter. I need to talk with you about your picks of the week. YouTube is a little bit shitty. It doesn't let me directly contact you and I don't know who you are in the community. So if you could contact me, that would be awesome because I want to know your picks of the week in the future. Plus, a big thanks to you watching right now. If you watched all 20 minutes of this video, you are an absolute legend of the highest order, and I want to know who you are. If you're one of those legends, then you need to leave me an emoji. Which emoji? Well, an emoji of something you would like to be crossed with the Nazis. Yes, I'm tired of Nazi zombies. Give me something else. Show me something awesome. What would you like to see Nazis crossed with in video games? Preferably ones you're happy to kill. When I said schoolgirls, I didn't think that through. Check out some of our other stuff. We've got Food Girls 2 review over on BN Paradise. We've got Paradise Killer review over on BN Paradise. Pocky and Rocky review. And of course, bargains and many other stuff, I am sure. Check out TASOMACHI also on Thursday. I'm losing my mind with how much stuff is going on right now.